I'm ST Billingsley with Community Conversations for What's Up Prince William. Today I have Rob Currer with Patriot Scuba. Thank you very much for being on the show today.
It's a pleasure.
So where are you located, and tell me about your organization.
So we actually have two locations. Our first is in Old Town Occoquan, it's in Fort Belvoir, and we are a dive shop, a local dive shop, servicing both new divers, so everything from entry level all the way through professional certifications. We handle trips and travel, as well as gear sales, gear servicing. Pretty much if it's scuba diving related and you want it, we can take care of it.
So you can accommodate beginner and expert divers. Why don't you tell me a little bit what you do for the different levels?
Oh yeah, sure, no problem. So the initial certification is called the Open Water Diver Certification. It's through PATTIES, the Professional Association of Dive Instructors. And they're the major market share worldwide, so it's an international certification. And what we do is we take you through essentially a three-component course. Beginning is academics, so your traditional book work, which now can be done via manual or in classroom with an instructor or one of the digital platforms that's available, including an e-learning and a touch variety. We do what's called confined water training, where we get you in the pool, teach you all the skills to become a scuba diver, get you in the gear, the nice safe water there, and then we take you out to the open water, still safe, but a little more other environmental conditions to account for in terms of visibility, sometimes a little current, that kind of thing, and really use that time to build up that confidence to be an independent diver. And so that's the first step, and that can take you from there. There's lots of avenues you can follow, whether you go stick purely recreational and get into various specialties such as deep diving or wreck diving or digital underwater photography, or even there's a number of environmental certifications through Project Aware, coral conservation certifications, sea turtle awareness, shark conservation certifications, those kinds of things. You can take it up through rescue diver, which makes you a safer diver, that kind of thing, or you can, after that, branch off into one of the professional routes and start off with things like dive master, or even learning to teach diving itself, which we handle all of that. Soup to nuts, whatever you want, we can train you to do it.
So since we're in the Washington, D.C. area, are there a lot of people interested in diving? And as far as where do you go diving, what kind of things can you actually go see and do around here or within a day's drive?
That's actually a great question. We get that one a lot. So the DC area actually is one of the top 5 producers of divers nationwide. In fact, we come in higher than Hawaii, oddly enough. And so there's a lot of folks out here who do dive. Locally, it tends to be freshwater diving with lots of lakes and quarries and things like that in the area. Some as close as the Rappahannock Quarry down in Fredericksburg. Some as far afield as Lake Phoenix down in just outside of Petersburg, Virginia. Or even if we head a little north to places like Dutch Springs in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. But for things like ocean diving, there's great, beautiful historic wreck diving up in New Jersey and in North Carolina. Some beautiful reefs down in the Florida areas, particularly Florida Keys. There's a Molasses Reef down there, which is the 3rd largest barrier reef in the world, which a lot of people don't know. That's actually up there with the Great Barrier Reef in terms of its size, and some beautiful, beautiful life down there. And then DC's a great portal to the rest of the world. I mean, we travel worldwide. I was just in Fiji last March. I'll be in Curacao in July this year, and then I'll be in the Maldives at the end of September. So we go all over the place. If there's water there, you can dive it.
Right. So. And do you work with kids?
We do. We actually work with children as young as 5. Now, ages 5 through 7, we don't actually take underwater. We do something called the SASE program, or the Supplied Air Snorkeling for Youth. Mm-hmm. And so what we do is we get them in the complete scuba unit, which involves a tank and a regulator, which is your breathing apparatus, and a unit we call the BCD, so a buoyancy control device. Now, for those children, it's really just a life jacket. So it doesn't submerge, it stays on the surface, but they can tool around on the surface, breathe off the regulator, get used to the feel of all that gear without any of the hazards of descending. Now, once they turn 8, they can participate in a program called SEAL Team. And this essentially starts teaching them the skills to become a scuba diver, but it's limited to the pool. We have to do it in that really safe, really controlled environment of the pool. But there's a number of what we call aqua missions, and focusing on a number of different things. So they learn things like mask clearing skills, regulated recovery, they can learn some basic navigation in the pool, we can even do things like night dives, we turn off the lights for the pool. There's a digital underwater photography component there, we set up a little fake reef at the bottom, that kind of thing. Get them involved, get them excited, and hopefully teach them some things. And then once you're 10, you can begin to work on your open water diver certification. It remains a junior level certification, so there's some further restrictions until you're 15, at which point it becomes your full-fledged adult certification. You're certified to dive to 60 feet with a buddy.
Oh, gotcha. So you have are there quite a few youth in our area that are interested in that? I mean, how many do you think you run through about a year, just roughly?
It depends on the year, but we probably run through about 35 to 50 kids a year.
So it's quite a few.
Yeah, and it's a growing population, especially among the Boy Scouts. There's actually a scuba diving certification, or a scuba diving merit badge, I should say, among the Boy Scouts. We have a growing population there. We've got some, hopefully we're working with the Girl Scouts this year, as well as the Sea Scouts, doing some work with them as well. So there's lots of interest for all age groups.
And now you're also involved with Patriots for Disabled Divers. So please tell me about that program.
Oh, thank you. So Patriots for Disabled Divers is our nonprofit. Our founders, our owners, Jeff and Mariel, started it back in 2013 as a way to give back to the military community. Jeff is a retired Navy captain, who's actually a submarine captain. We can't get him out of the water. We keep trying, he's been in the military had been in the military for 29 years, and Mariel grew up in the military, married into the Navy, and so it's been their livelihood. So they wanted to give back to our injured veterans primarily, and so it started off as a local nonprofit. It's actually expanded nationwide. So while we're based out of Occoquan, Patriots for Disabled Divers trains divers throughout the continental U.S. With affiliate shops in Pennsylvania, Texas, Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, California, Washington, and I think we just picked up a couple in Tennessee and Illinois as well. Through that program, we train injured veterans and their families at no cost to them to become certified divers. That's all based on some research that's been growing out of Johns Hopkins in particular, as well as a bunch of anecdotal evidence from these folks, specifically those suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder and traumatic brain injuries. That it's had a lot of, shall we say, ameliorating effects on the symptoms of their conditions in terms of reduction in physical pain, increased mobility, feelings of freedom that may be limited in their day-to-day life, as well as some psychological benefits. We've had reports of reduced anxiety, reduced headaches, clarity of mind, that kind of thing. And then there's the socialization aspects of it too. As you may be aware, PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder, one of the major culprits that's been leading to the high suicide rates among those folks is this feeling of isolation. They have trouble sort of communicating what they're going through or engaging in the community. And so through this program, one, we get divers who have similar sorts of problems together to work through them as a team, because diving is inherently a buddy sport. You never go diving alone. You always go diving with a friend. But also it gets their families involved, and it gets the community at large involved. So we get these people out and about and back into the productive lives they were leading before they had to deal with these kinds of things.
That's the part that you don't really always hear about with some of these other programs, work with yours. You're actually including the family, and you want them to be part of it.
Oh, absolutely.
And that really kind of keeps them all together and gives them some common ground there to work with.
Well, exactly. We don't want to just build up one individual. We want to build up a whole community, and we've had a lot of success there. In fact, one of the divers that I've been working with for the last 2 years, he started out with PFDD, got his open water certification through us. He just passed his open water scuba instructor examination last month.
Right.
And he started to teach his daughter to dive.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So we've seen a lot of success, a lot of growth.
Well, it sounds like you have a really nice program going on there, and have to come check it out and hopefully some other people will come check out your store and check out your organization to see about what you do. And we really appreciate you being on our show today.
Right.
Thank you very much. I hope to have you on later to
Thank you so
hear
much.
about how some of your programs go later this year.
Thank you, I'd love to be back, I appreciate it.
And thank you for joining us for Community Conversations on What's Up Prince William.